Hi, Verona. Thank you so much for joining us on Black Ink Cinema podcast.
For having me, Rachel.
You're a talented presenter and comedian, and I'm just glad to have you on the show. Since the lockdown, I found myself catching you on Secret Crush, which is my, which is something I won't be able to do if I was working in the office. So for me, it's a win-win.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for watching.
Oh no, I find it absolutely scary and hilarious all at the same time because that's. Those people are very brave. How did you get the job on Secret Crush?
I'm actually an actor, so I'm an actor, and I do comedy, mainly comedy. But with that, it was bonkers how I got it. Well, bonkers, but it was just out of the blue. So it was a request, basically. My agent messaged me. He's like, "How does this sound? What do you think? Sounds like fun? Are you up for it?" And I was like, "Are you sure they mean me?" And that was it. So they just requested me, and I went and I done it. And it was first, the first 2 days or first day, you're like, oh my goodness. But it was so much fun. I absolutely loved it.
Oh my God. As a hopeless romantic, I always want it to work out for them. And then it's like when it's that very awkward, you can just see by their facial expression that they're not on board. It's really heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. Oh, bless. Yeah, I think those that came on are so brave, and I am, to be honest with you, I don't know if I would bring someone on TV, but I'm someone that would tell someone straight,
I was about to ask you that. Would you tell your crush that you're into them?
Yeah, I mean, I've been with my partner for 14 years, so but I told him.
And look now, happily ever after. So there's power in that for sure. Have you ever drawn on your own love experiences for your comedy or acting or anything like that?
I don't think I've had to be honest with you. But I'm someone that loves love. I love everything. I love everyone, and I love things that make people happy.
Yeah.
So maybe just my experiences in general, but not like I had to draw on my experience with my partner.
So have you got a worst date story?
Most probably with him.
Really?
Yeah, because he's so sweet. But like when we first got together, we were a lot younger, and what did we do? We had a date, and I was feeling all like, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take you for dinner," and I was like, "Oh, this is nice," and I dressed up, feeling all mature and like an adult. And then we got to the restaurant, went to this Indian restaurant, and he started banging. He saw his friend outside the window, and he started going, yo, banging on the window, calling his friend, and I was just like, "Is this really happening?" So that was for me really, really embarrassing.
Yeah,
we've had many a wonderful dates since then.
Oh, awesome. That's good to hear. So what made you get into acting, comedy, stand-up?
So I always wanted to be a singer.
Fabulous.
So I've been in youth theatre and drama classes and stuff since I was a kid, since about 6 years old, but I always wanted to be a singer, and I had dreams of coming out to the crowd and singing and slapping their hands and be just being an amazing singer. And then when I got to I think it was actually, I went to the Brit school, but after Brit, I was having singing. No, actually, it was before then. I was having singing lessons, and they told me you sound like you smoke 50 fags a day, and I was like, "Wow, I am never going to be a singer." Yeah, but I realised I couldn't sing.
My God, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was alright.
I mean, my mum would say as well, just like mother, she would just shut it down. The dream is dead now. Did you look up to as who are your favourite singers or?
Oh my goodness. I really, really, when I was growing up, looked up to Lauryn Hill. She was, don't we all?
She was my little Lauryn Hill tribute.
Yes, and I love it. I'm here for it. It's so beautiful. But yeah, everything about her and Sister Act, her husky voice. I know a couple of her songs word for word.
Yes.
And whenever my party trick is and people are like, "Oh, you're amazing," because I can do all the rapping and stuff.
Yeah, that's where that really nice husky voice would come and play then, and it will be good. So maybe their opinion. You carry on singing. It's fine.
Thank you. Can you sing?
No, the myth is not true. Not all black people can sing.
I know. Especially with hair like that, people are like, "Oh, she must be able to sing."
I look the part, maybe, but don't. No, I'll do a very good mime. So, yeah. Lip sync.
Stick to mime it. Lip sync.
So how has it been for you coming out of the pandemic, going back into performing?
I'll tell you what, I find it quite terrifying. The beginning of the pandemic, I was like freaking out. I thought there was going to be a zombie apocalypse. I went and bought, I don't know why, but I went and bought rope.
Okay.
I don't know what rope would do. I went to shops and just like, yeah, we might need a little bit of that and a little bit of this, some candles, you know.
There's still possibility that could happen.
Yes, yes, since the
prepared.
You're so true, so true. But yeah, I think coming out, I ended up doing quite a lot of work in the pandemic, which was nice.
Oh, that's good.
Some voiceover stuff from home and whatnot, and some other little bits. But coming out, yeah, I still find it very terrifying. But more so when I've got like big jobs coming up, because I'm being tested and stuff, and you can't go on set if you've got a cold or whatever. So I'm just like, stay away. I think people think, okay, is she all right? Like, or I'm being over the top, but it's just, don't want to catch it.
Yeah, you want to work, you want to do your job.
Exactly.
You're just being safe, not to worry.
Exactly.
And would you like to share with the audience your social media platform?
So I'll look directly down the camera. This sounds very pretentious, but on Instagram it's the Verona Rose, or the Verona Rose. The same on Twitter as well. And I barely use Facebook, so yeah, Twitter and Instagram at the Verona Rose.
Awesome, thank you. So we're here to celebrate all things Black cinema, and you picked a film that I was actually unfamiliar with, called Phat Girlz, with none other than Monique. For those who haven't watched it and unaware, do you want to let people know what it's about?
Monique. Oh, I love it. So it's about I feel like it's about somebody finding acceptance within themselves. It's about Monique finding acceptance, her character, feeling comfortable within her body and finding love, and then realizing that someone will love you just for because you are who you are. Yeah. And with all your flaws and all. So yeah, I think that I'd say it's about somebody finding acceptance.
Yeah.
Or accepting themselves.
Yeah, which is really important. And as it's not as well known as for Monique's films, what made you choose this one, other than, let's say, like Precious, for example?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can I say my favorite line in that film?
Do it.
You know when she says, "Precious, come and finish mummy off."
Yeah. I think I still, to this day, I've only watched that film once, because I mentally, emotionally and physically couldn't watch that film more than once, because it was very traumatic.
I know, but the thing is that's like, I think I've watched it once, and I watched like years and years, maybe like more than 10 years ago, maybe more than 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's implanted, Precious, come and finish mummy off. That was that's not funny.
It took me a minute to look at Monique in the same way. Like, I was like, you played that a little bit too well. I don't know.
But yeah, I chose that film because actually it's the one film. It was on I had this on DVD. So I'm from Southampton, and when I moved back there after uni, I just got myself a flat. And it's the one DVD that I had in my flat. So my little sister would come and stay with me. My cousins would stay. And actually, they shouldn't have been watching the film. I chose it because that was the one thing that I was like, okay, I've got people around. We're going to watch the film. Put this in. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That was the one film that I had. But I also like that it was tackling issues that that needed to be tackled. Yeah. But in a comedic way.
Yeah, exactly. I do love that self-love. Tackling the self-love and self-destruction at the same time. There was that kind of battle, and I did like how they mirrored that in the film. Although Monique encompasses all things strong Black woman, what I liked about this is that she was more vulnerable, and it showed a lot more of her softer side.
Which is important, isn't it? Because as you just said, I feel like that term, I actually posted something recently about it, strong Black woman. It's do you know, it just puts too much pressure on us.
Problematic.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. And it suggests that we can handle anything, doesn't it? So it was nice to see that vulnerable side. And I actually rewatched it because I was like, let me familiarize myself. When I saw that scene where she had that breakdown, I was like, oh my goodness. When I was watching it back then, I didn't realise what was actually going on. And it really was, it was heart-wrenching almost, wasn't it? It was a very powerful scene that said a lot to me. And like you say, you know, she encompasses all things, strong Black woman. But you know what? Sometimes we have to have a little cry. She had a little cry. She came back bigger and stronger.
Yeah. It's okay to ask for help, to not feel okay to, and I just feel like it's something that we're now as Black women especially are trying to dismantle and break, that kind of I'm a strong Black woman kind of theory, because also it gives the ideology to other people that we can handle and deal with everything and anything and no one should care about our feelings.
Then I'm sure you have, and I've personally experienced this a number of times, you know, especially in the industry that we're in, you know, which is where my white colleagues have, you know, we've been in a situation where, you know, we were upset because something had happened. We were upset in the situation we were in, and everyone decided that my colleagues needed the attention, and I was just like, on my own, you know. So it's, but they mostly thought, oh, she's a strong Black woman,
you can handle it, it's fine.
She's her tears don't mean anything, they're acid tears.
And I think that comes with then so much, it carries so much heaviness, because regardless of what you say or do, it will always be perceived as aggressive or in comparison to the other person. So you've almost got to check yourself and make yourself smaller just so you don't come across a certain way. It's very tricky, but
yes, 100%, I agree.
So what I loved about this rom-com is the fact that they had a fuller figure lady who was the leading lady. Would you like to see more diverse figure shapes like as leading ladies? I feel like
100%.
We're trying, but it's very slow.
Yeah, it's happening, but slow, and mostly more so in America. It's happening because, you know, let's be honest.
Yes,
it's completely different here. To, you know, our struggles and our achievements are completely different here than they are in America. So yeah, I definitely would love to. I mean, I've got humongous breasts and tiny at the bottom. Yeah, you know, so I feel like in the past that's really made it difficult for me to get work, because they're like, yeah, because, you know, like I've got a weird figure, you know, so I feel like that's got, I've been to auditions or I've booked a job and they'll be like, oh, can we chuck a jumper on her? Can we do this? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so it would be nice to just, you know,
that's just your body. That is literally how you were born. It's like
one do.
Wow. Okay.
Eating too many cheeseburgers and it just went.
It just went to the boobs.
Yeah.
No, you know, and it's funny that people will go and pay for those, but this is a problem that you're having to deal with, and a hindrance a little bit.
I feel like it's changed now, though. It's not been as much of a problem. But and maybe it wasn't. Maybe that was my thing, you know, as an actor, where I'm like, oh, I'm not booking jobs because I've got a massive gap in my teeth and I've got big boobs, you know. But when someone says to you, let's chuck a jumper on, you know,
that's quite tough, and I'm sorry, that's not a nice experience for anyone to go through. So the film is written and directed by Niket Like, who is a female director. Do you think men and women have inherently different comedic perspectives, and do you think it would have been told differently had it been written and directed by a man?
A really interesting question. I'd imagine so. I'd imagine so. But I mean, I rewatched it, and I felt very uncomfortable with like certain things that were happening. But I didn't realise it was written and directed by a female. So actually, that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. If that makes sense. But yeah, I'm someone that I don't like to say, oh, you know, if a man did this or if a black person did that or da. So for me, it's a difficult question for me to say yes or no to, because I don't like to say that, you know, homogeneously group people and say, yes, you know, men would do this or women would do that or this colour would do that or whatever. So, yeah, that was a difficult one. Sorry.
That's all right. I do feel this film was a little bit ahead of its time as well, like having the fuller figure lady as the leading woman, but also the love interest being the Nigerian guy, the men, and which is, it really turns things on its head, because, you know, he kind of defies that stereotype of like the bush African guy, and he's more, you know, well put together, he's intelligent, he's charming. And so I felt like that was quite forward thinking for them. Like, I just feel like that's not something we often see in movies.
Yes, I agree. And what do you know? What you're saying about a fuller figured woman being the lead. To be honest with you, wasn't it ahead of its time having women as the lead?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I mean, when I watched it, I was like, oh, the film is just all about
her.
Yeah.
Her experience and
and then they all of them had their own little battles, really, didn't they? Because her bestie and her cousin, they were all, it was quite nice to see that they were rounded characters, you know, rounded black female characters, and they were all different.
Yes,
not exactly. The same. We're not all in that one box.
And they were very layered. Another unique aspect that I do love that they did in this was the kind of like a role reversal of slim shaming, you know, and I just find that absolutely hilarious. You know, I'm African, I've grown up African, and I remember actually being slim shamed when I was younger because I was always just very skinny. And then, of course, you know, life catches up with you and then everything falls out. But for a long time, I was very self-conscious about that. And I was just like, wanted to have more of like a curvier body and blah, blah, blah. I now wish I had that slim body again, but
look very slim. It's funny, isn't it? Because I think it's a cultural thing. Because as I say, I grew up in Southampton, right? It's not until I came to London. I came to London the first time when I was 16 to go to Brit school. It's not until I came to London when I met, because I didn't have any black friends in Southampton. There was no black, my family were like, in my area, the only black family, right? And the first time I actually had black friends, I came to, I was in London, and that was the first time that I'd heard someone that was slim say, oh, I'm trying to put weight on because I'm trying to get enough. Where I grew up, it was, oh my gosh, does my bum look big in this? Oh my goodness, you don't want to be, you want to be slim. But it's changed a bit now. And my little sister went to school, to uni with a lot more African girls and stuff. But no, sorry, not uni, college in Southampton, because, you know, it's more diverse now. And she's very, very slim. And she had that same thing with the bigger girl saying, oh, well, you're too skinny, you've got no bum. And I said to her, listen, by the time you start getting into your late 20s and whatnot, everything's going to start curving out. It's better to grow into your shape and be able to control it. Not that, you know, this isn't me fat shaming anyone, but you know, control you growing into yourself than not being able to.
Exactly. No, I totally agree. And I wish I'd listened, or someone had said that to me. Didn't know that life was going to catch up with me. But yeah, that is one thing. One thing I do like about the film, it tackles a lot of different aspects in society that I feel we've all had to deal with on a daily basis. So I think they did that quite well.
Comes a lot in, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
And I didn't notice that the first time I watched it, but watching it again, I was like, they were like, okay, we want to make sure we make a statement about fuller figure, about slimmer, about institutional racism, or you know, someone do. I just felt like they were getting everything.
Even
loved it.
Even at the end, the slim girl out of the Friends is like stuffing her face. She's like, I'm trying to get me a Nigerian guy.
Yes, get me a Nigerian prince.
Which I just found absolutely hilarious. One of my favorite scenes has to be when they're in the burger joint and they're having that yo mama cussing match, which is so early 2000s.
Yes, your mama. When she said about the thing on his lip, about the water on your lip, mistaked your lip for your ass crack.
It was a very good cussing match. One actor that I recognised in there, who's one of my faves, is Godfrey, the comedian.
No!
Like, oh my God, this is where he's been. I was like, I just didn't even know he was acting or anything like that. Like, I've only known about him in the last few years or so. And I love him. I just think he stands strong in himself. Like,
he's great.
Yeah.
Where did you start knowing him from?
I think it was actually just social media content, like just stuff online, and people circulate things and opinions and debates, and his opinion about things, and his very like proudfulness of who he is and black women and waving the flag, and I was just like, okay, this guy's hilarious. And then recently on the Tiffany Haddish,
they're ready, yeah. Well, that's where I saw him, and when I was re-watching it, I was like, that looks like that guy. And I actually googled to see if it was him, and because I couldn't work out I couldn't remember his name, but he was really good in the film, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. What did you think of their Nigerian accents?
Oh my goodness, terrible. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. I never really expect Americans to do like good Nigerian accents anyway, and but I think he's actually Nigerian, so
oh, he is. Godfrey's character, his accent was better than Tunde's accent, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely was. Although, because I think that main character, Tunde, is French, I think he is, and so you could hear a little bit of that in there, so that's quite strong.
Well, he spoke in French, didn't he?
Yeah,
and he done it very well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Obviously, Monique has been under fire recently, most recently about things that she said, her claims, being like, one of the best comedians, or the best comedian, or successful comedian, should I say. Where do you rate her in your comedian?
I think she's absolutely incredible. She hasn't, the thing is, she's been upset that she's not been given a Netflix special, isn't it?
Well, they were trying to pay her, I think. So she was basically saying, if you're going to pay Chris Rock this amount, I'm more successful than Chris Rock, so therefore I should get more. I
agree with her. I agree with her. Like, why? She's absolutely incredible. It's different if she was saying, oh, Dave Chappelle, I should be getting the same amount as Dave Chappelle, but like, why? I agree with her. I know there was she posted something else recently. Was it? Oh, it was terrible, actually. I don't know if you saw it. She posted, there was a woman in, did you see it?
Bonnet Gate.
Is it that? Yeah. And she was, I think, she was saying that we need to do better and you shouldn't come out like that. And I mean, I really didn't like that.
Yeah. So for those people who hadn't seen that clip, basically, quite a few sisters are walking around going Tesco's or whatnot with a bonnet on their hair, and Monique felt like that wasn't presentable enough. And I just think sometimes, like, you may have your opinion. I don't know why everyone thinks they need to share their opinion, first of all, but two, it's like, that's that person, like, let them live, like, let them do whatever they want.
Taking the photo was too far. Even if she just said, look, women, we should, she decided to type something, but taking the photo, I think that is a violation of so many things, and posting it on her massive platform.
And because she's famous and has that platform, you're now bringing so much unwanted attention to this person who didn't ask for it or didn't want it. Do you know what I mean? She was just minding her own business, wearing her bonnet, like doing her thing. And I just think, especially when you are this prominent person within our community or within the communities, that you should be careful on how you speak about things, because it can be really damning.
And I think also, I 100% agree. I also think that you just don't know what that person was going through that day. That person may never have ever stepped out of their house in a bonnet, but they needed to do something really quickly because, you just never know. So I just think it wasn't didn't like that, Monique. I didn't like that.
No, I didn't like that at all. I mean, no one wants to, if you catch me going to my corner shop, it's not red lipstick and lashes, babe. Do you know what I mean? It's trackies and a hoodie, so it's
exactly.
There's a time and place. So I think everyone should just, like, I don't know, mind their own business. I'm just a big believer in that. And just not disturb. Like, if it doesn't affect you, like your health or personally, let them live.
Leave them alone. Yes, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. Going back to the Netflix special money saga, I think it's really complicated because quite a few other black comedians who, female comedians who said, yes, we too got paid like not even 10% of what, let's say, Chris Rock got paid. Or
oh, really?
They came out and said, yes, we do, but Monique's the only one to actually disagree and, you know, make noise about it. Whereas all the others were like, you know, we just thought we'd rather take it than lose it, kind of thing, because when are we going to get this opportunity? And at least hopefully that should help. And Monique's argument is a bit like, when do we say no to that? When do we say no, enough is enough? Like, I've paid my dues, I've done this. And to her, playing devil's advocate, she's won an Oscar, so she's probably thinking, hold on a minute, most actresses or actors, when they win Oscars, their money goes up. Like, why am I having to bargain? And these are my credentials. But then you have the other argument is she's not as popular as on stand-up like other comedians. So it's a weird one. Although I think I read recently that she did win that case, which is awesome.
I mean, she's got a Netflix special coming out.
I think it was more about, like, I think she won it on like discrimination, like on those grounds.
Oh, I didn't know it was going that far.
Yeah, so I think there might be a little cheeky payment going out. Yeah,
the bank's going to be full up.
Yeah,
the bank's belly's full.
Exactly.
You know what? I rate her for speaking out, because I think too often we here, especially because I mean I've been to America, but not, you know, for acting or work. I think far too often there's this thing that we do, maybe as black women, and maybe women, where we're like, oh, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to be the person that, I don't want to come across as the angry black woman. I don't want to, so do you know what? I'm going to settle for that. And then next time, they'll be like, okay, she done well then, so we'll increase what she's going to get next time, or we'll think of her next time because she wasn't an issue, you know. And I don't think it always goes in our favor, and it doesn't help other people.
Exactly, because you're just setting a precedent of being cheaper or being allowed to be paid less, and then proving yourself, whereas some other people walk in and don't have to prove themselves, don't have to show their worth. They are just paid the maximum and the most, and, you know, walking over their chest. Did you have any negatives about the film?
The negatives that I had, I think it would be the body shaming of the slimmer person, because I felt like it just was, I know they were trying to make make a point of saying bigger women are always made to feel pretty because of the way they look, but in actual fact, like you said, some slim women feel uncomfortable in their bodies, you know. So I think that, and that maybe for when they're like, oh, she looks like a twig, oh, she, you know, they were saying stuff in the language about her, those kind of things made me feel really uncomfortable. So I didn't really like that.
I totally agree. I always hate it when to praise one, you don't need to put down another. You can just praise something without condemning something else, the opposite. You know, everyone has their preferences. Everything for me anyway is beautiful and gorgeous. So just be comfortable in your skin, and, you know, we all can't look the same. We all can't be the same. So it's like individuality that makes us special, without sounding very preachy, but yeah.
No, 100%. I get you. And actually, I think, because you just said you don't have to put one down to praise one, that I think if they took that out of the film, it would have made it so much nicer, wouldn't it? And better, because it was just like, these women are embracing who they are. You know, they've had trials and tribulations, but now, you know, they've overcome. And I think
and I think for me, that's the only negative, that it felt very linear and very obvious, the story. It didn't it just, you know, played up to all the stereotype. I guess it tried to break it at times. So we're going to go into the quick fire round, and I wanted to talk to you about black female talents. And so we'll start off with your top 3 funniest black female lead actors.
I would definitely say Susan Wokoma.
Okay.
I think she's hilarious, like so funny. So I saw her in Chewing Gum playing Michaela Cole's sister.
I loved that show, and I loved her as well in it. She was brilliant.
Yeah, for me, I was just like, oh my goodness, she's just so funny. I love her. I love her. I love her. So Susan Wokoma. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then obviously Tiffany Haddish, like, hello. She's a dream. I love her. And then third, oh, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's a fight. I'm pretty sure her name is Regina Hall.
Yes.
Yes. Is she the one that goes, I think the film is
Scary Movie and
yeah, so she's like, I got you on camera.
yeah. Regina Hall is, I find her so funny. Like, just even in interviews, I think she is hilarious. Like, there was an interview with her, Issa Rae, when they were doing that Little film with Marseille, and I was just cracking up throughout this. I don't know if they were acting, I don't know if it was a joke, but I found them hilarious. It was great. What about your favorite best dramatic comedic actor?
I'm gonna say Monique from Precious.
She was so convincing in Precious. It was, yeah, that hurt. And on that note, what about your best Oscar nominated or winners actresses?
Okay, so I think she's been nominated. She deserves an Oscar. I'm pretty sure she was nominated. Angela Bassett.
Amazing.
She is so underrated.
She's never won.
But I feel like she's so underrated. She is everything.
She's the queen. Like, I call her Mama Angela because I just look up to her with so much admiration and respect.
Yeah, Angela. Oh my goodness, yes. I would love to work with her.
Like, how do you look? I don't understand. Why are we aging backwards?
Money, honey. It's money and cocoa butter.
Got the cocoa butter, just need to up my money. Okay. Yeah. No, yeah, I would agree there. There's so many that should have won but haven't won Oscars.
Viola Davis.
Yes, but she's another. I find her performances always so moving, no matter how small or big of a role she's playing. She really hones in on that character and just makes it her own, which is something I love to watch. She's
the best crier.
Oh,
she does this cry, which I think is just outstanding, where she makes a bit of snot drip down. It's just here and it rests here on her lip. And you're like, is it going to go in? Is it going to go? Do you know the cry I'm on about?
The Fences one. Listen, that Fences cry, right? I think I did a little review on it, and I said she should have just won an Oscar just from that crying scene. Forget about all the rest of the film. Just from that scene, I felt pain, anger, anguish, and when snot is coming out, that's when you know you're proper crying now. You're not even acting now. You're just proper crying.
She's cried. Do you know what? Though I have to be honest. Don't kill me. I've not watched Fences yet, so I've seen her do that crying a couple of things.
Oh, so you just saw the clip, but you don't know where it's coming from.
No. I've not seen that clip. I've seen her do the cry in other.
Oh my god!
Films, is what I'm saying, and other things. Yeah, she was in something where her little boy. I can't remember the name of it. I told you this earlier that I'm terrible with names, but she was in something. Her little boy was being sexually abused.
Oh, I think. Oh, is that Doubt? I think. Yeah, Doubt, and with Meryl Streep, I think she's in that. And her cry is phenomenal.
Rest here.
Just gonna give you homework. Please watch Fences and see that cry scene. It's Oscar winning for sure.
I'm on it. I'm like accepted mess.
What about your best Black female director?
Do you know who I really rate, actually? English director. I think she's established but also up and coming. Her name's Claire. She directed and also, I believe, wrote a film called Shade.
Okay. I'll check it out. No, I hadn't seen it, so I'll definitely check it out. What is it about her that you like, her directing style?
I love her. I just like her style. I feel like she's a new, almost like a new voice. It's fresh. It's something that we've not really seen before. So yeah, I just want to big up Claire and give her more blessings.
Awesome. Who do you think is like the best female UK comedians?
Best female UK comedians. I really, really rate Tanya Moore.
Love Tanya.
She's bloody brilliant. I think, I mean, we're going to have to say London Hughes. She's nailing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely nailing it. And I love, oh my goodness. Oh, she's not, is she UK? She lives in the UK now. Kima Bob.
Okay.
I love Kima Bob. She's incredible. So yeah, they're my friend.
Yeah, no, those are amazing. That's an amazing list. That's awesome. So thank you for doing your quick fire round, by the way. That was great. So going back to the movie, if you had to direct people to YouTube to entice them to watch this film, what clip would it be and why?
Mine has to be the scene where they have a little kiss in the their first kiss, and then they start playing Two-Face song. You are my African queen.
I was like, this is so, like, of course they would play this, like.
I loved it, and I used to love that because it just took me back as well, because I love that song.
Yes.
But also, if you watch closely, I don't know what's going on, but you know the essays, the supporting artist in the background, there are two little boys just hovering around, like, and I'm like, are they supposed to be walking? What are they? They're just going. Did you notice that?
And watch, and they're just like, what's happening? What's going on? And people are walking past, just looking at them like, what? Like, why are them two just making out in the middle of the road?
Yeah.
No, I got that as well. I would say I do like the Phat Burger cussing match, just because I feel like that highlights the problem of the show. Like, I mean, the film in terms of the subject point, you know, and yeah. And she completely roasts him, and I'm glad that she wins that, which is amazing, and punches him when he goes flying, which is great.
Yes.
He gets his karma. Like, it's so unnecessary. Can't stand people like that.
Do you know what's interesting? What I did notice though, because I think when I watched that before, I was like, oh yeah, like people are going to keep on saying like fat shaming and always saying things, but in reality, I've got some friends that are a bit bigger, and I've been with them, and they've actually been verbally attacked in the same way, or people will walk past and just say really disgusting things, and I never really, just so you know, some people will say, oh, I didn't know racism was really a big thing. I genuinely as well didn't realise some of my friends had gone through that, and you know, some of my friends would say, I was sat on a train eating a packet of crisps and someone started filming me, or you know, so the thing, even though it was heightened in the film, those things are real, you know, they really happen.
I just don't know how people are raised, you know, just what, like, it really baffles me, like, I just will never understand it. But Verona, it has been awesome talking to you about Phat Girlz, putting me on the film that I had never seen before, and it's very rare that I get put on a film that I haven't seen, so I always,
there you go.
And to see that, like, you know, Monique went from this to Precious and winning the Oscar, it's really nice to see that journey. And you can see even in this, she stole the show, and her performance was like really good.
I agree. Thank you so much for having me.
No, you're welcome. Thank you again for coming on to the Black Ink Cinema podcast.